cover the paint area and lock in on their higher percentage three-point shooters. And unfortunately for us tonight, Smith got going early, knocked down about three-pointers there in the first half, stretched us out, and made the necessary plays that they needed to, shooting about 56% from the field there in the first half and 60 from the three-point line, and put us at somewhat of a deficit. But I thought our guys did a tremendous job of continuing to fight there in the second half. The main thing we wanted to do was try to get it back to single digits. We did, but the team that they are, the experience that they have on their team, wind up knocking down a big shot, three-pointer, with the shot clock running down, and unfortunately we just never recovered after that.
First question goes to Kyle Mosley.
Hey, Coach, how you doing, sir?
Great, Kyle.
Sorry about the loss. Tell me, what were they doing offensively that kept you guys off balance?
Well, it wasn't so much off balance. We wanted to make sure we did a good job of taking away their point guard and their big-time shooters. And Dozier's a big-time scorer for him. Moten's a great downhill guy that creates opportunities for him. Wind up trying to trap those guys early and trying to get them uncomfortable, not allowing them to get downhill. But they was thrown back to the back up top to what we consider the lower percentage three-point shooters that they wind up knocking some shots down. We hit a couple in a row, and it felt good to them. So we made some adjustments and we started taking it away, but unfortunately we were at a deficit and did not shoot a high enough percentage there in the first half to counter it because they shot about 50-something%. We were in the 30s there in the first half.
And it seemed like the guards, CC as well as Henry, when they were trying to penetrate, they weren't able to really be as effective as before. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, obviously, PJ been the MVP of this tournament the last 2 years. He's certainly our go-to guy and someone that we look for. Unfortunately, on yesterday's game, he came down with an injury, and he just wasn't 100%. We wanted to take a look at him tonight, see if he could possibly go. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to go at the rate to speed to impact the game the way that we needed it to. And they did a good job on CC tonight because I thought they did a good job of double teaming him anytime we were trying to run some action with the screen. We got away from it a little bit in the second half, less the screen so he could have more one-on-one opportunities. And I thought he was able to thrive in that. But unfortunately for us, not having PJ at full strength certainly wasn't beneficial to us in a game of this magnitude.
Next question goes to Jason Bristol.
Johnny, when you look at what you saw in the first half, what did you tell your team at halftime? And were you disappointed about the, I guess, not effort, but what you saw defensively in the first half? Or was it just where they were hitting a lot of tough shots?
Well, they hit the shots that we were able to give them. We had to pick our poison in terms of what we wanted to take away. They like to get the ball in the lane. Dozier's a creator, and he's a three-level scorer. Along with Moten, both of those guys can drive the ball. So we wanted to take those guys away and then try and cover the paint area. Unfortunately, again, they knocked down three-pointers. I think they hit, what were they there in the first half? I think they were, 7 for 11 in the first half. They're a team that generally average only 6 three-pointers a game. And they knocked down that many there in the first half. So that was disappointing for us. Only hit, I think, one pretty much in the entire second half. So unfortunately for us, they shot it well. But I did tell them at halftime we were in the same position at home and actually came back and took a 4-point lead there in the second half, and we thought that we would be in that position. In the second half, we could get it as single digits, keep playing. Hopefully the pressure would go to them, the rim would get smaller, but we just weren't able to overcome it, cut it to 9, but just couldn't cut more into the deficit.
Any final questions for Coach?
Yeah. One last question, Coach. What was the message to your team at the end?
Oh, well, congratulated them for being here. You know, we lost 4 starters off of last year's team. Only returning starter was P.J. Henry. and a lot of people probably didn't have us in this game tonight. And for those guys to come together as a team, the chemistry, and put ourselves in position to be playing tonight and have an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament a fourth straight time is a testament to their commitment, their drive, their focus, their hard work. And I just commended them, and I really commended the seniors for their leadership, the guys that were in that locker room, because they certainly set the tone, and they helped set the tone for future years to come for those underclassmen. Because if we could get back to this game with 4 new starters out there on the floor, along with P.J. Henry, I think it speaks volumes of just kind of the commitment that those guys were able to make during the year. Certainly disappointed, but Tone, we had to congratulate Grambling. They played well tonight. It's the first time in the history of their program to get to the NCAA tournament, and they've done a tremendous job all year winning the regular season and then coming in tonight and winning the conference tournament.
Jason, you good? All right, thank you so much, Coach.
Good.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Coach.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks. Thanks. Thank you.
All right, we'll open it up for Coach Jones. Questions?
I'm all good for tonight. Thank you.
Coach, it's really quick. I mean, congratulations on a great season, and you know, like you said, this would have been the 4th time. You cut it down to 8, 9 as you got down to that 5-6 minute mark, and you know, you threw that press out there to try and cut it down some more. Like you said, it was the experience that you thought of those guards that was able to break that press. Was there anything that you thought from that perspective once they were able to be successful and you couldn't really get past that 7 or 8 point mark to cut it down even further?
Well, you know, things that was not natural for him was Dozier getting to the free throw line, going 3 for 8.
Yeah.
So that was in our favor. You know, he missed, so those are some non-scoring opportunities for us to come back and make some plays and make some shots, which we did. It helped us get it to the deficit that we did. Just weren't able to get the turnovers. Usually we can play off deflections, we shoot the lanes, we get a little bit more steals and create easy scoring opportunities because it's less their defense being set up. And unfortunately, we didn't have enough of those tonight. They did a good job of moving the ball, getting it to where it needed to be. And I think, again, the leadership that they have on their team and those guys that have been doing it for a while, those guys have been together for a while. And they were obviously ready for it. We thought once we cut it under 10 that it could possibly go in our favor, and unfortunately it didn't.
Coach, last night was such a grueling, grinded out game against A&M. How much did that kind of take your legs out? And plus, they finished late.
You know, we don't look for any excuses. We're results driven. You have to commend that team for doing a great job tonight. You know, I thought our guys played hard enough, provided they missed some shots that we could come down and get some stuff done. So it's basketball for us, and you got to lay it on the line, and what's out there on the line, you just got to play as hard as you possibly can and make those things happen. And I think our guys are conditioned enough to be able to do that. I just think we dug a big hole for ourselves, and that took place early in the game and not when we were tired or there in the second half. That actually happened there in the first half, late in the first half.
Coach, you guys are obviously familiar with each other. You played twice during the regular season, you split, and then you play a third time. And while there's obviously a lot of familiarity, were there any new wrinkles that at this point that you are maybe surprised or probably wasn't expecting?
It was Smith hitting shots like that. He's usually a driver, a down here guy making plays toward the rim, using his athleticism. So that was one of the big things that hurt us there in the first half, because he take those shots and miss them. Then we've got a chance to go the other way. But shoot, they wind up hitting 7 out of 7 for 6 or 7. No, I'm sorry, 7 for 11 from the three-point line there in the first half. So you shoot 60-something% from there. You're generally making 6 threes a game. That was a big difference or whatever for us, and we were planning to try to take away the paint area.
Coach, was P.J. Henry feeling those sweeps from his ankle in the latter part of that second half?
Yeah, I thought even in the first half, matter of fact, I just wanted to watch him warm up to see if he was going to be able to go. Took him off the point and put him at the 2 so he wouldn't have to bring the ball up and be pressured. And unfortunately, I think as the game wore on, it started wearing on him a little bit. It wasn't as effective for him, and this guy's been leading us. Yeah, and he's been our guy. And unfortunately tonight, and fortunately for us, we didn't have him really for 3 games this year, and all 3 of those games were against Grambling, where he wasn't full steam. Didn't play at Grambling at all. At our place, he played a little bit in the first half, about 4 minutes in the second half. We beat him at Grambling, unfortunately he didn't play. We lost to him at our place, and then tonight, obviously not having him, that hurts.